Hey, what's good, guys? This is Mike Patrick, and today we have Eric Driver, okay? It's one of my old buddies that I used to box with back in the day, and I still work with a little bit now, so I'm gonna allow him to introduce himself a little bit more. Matter of fact, how would you describe yourself, or maybe in a few words, how would you sum up yourself?
First, I want to say peace, sending out good energy to everybody, good vibes. And yeah, like you said, we do go a long way back. We was in the trenches together. We grinded together. We got each other ready for a battle, as well as our stablemates. And how would I describe myself?
Just in a few words. I mean, we're going to get into it, but like in a few words, what would you say, solidifies E or defines E if you have 4 or 5 words?
I can give you 2.
Okay.
Truthful spirit.
Okay. Hey, look, so as far as boxing, I want to get right into boxing, okay? And with boxing, when did you start boxing, man?
As far as like fundamentally,
like when did you first go to the gym? Yeah, when you first go to the gym?
So when I was 23. But as far as how long you been around,
damn,
you got to think I'm like the 3rd generation boxer in my family.
Oh, so you've been around boxing from day one then?
Yeah. If we can, I'm gonna send you a picture and you can slide it in. It's like a slide shot, like through this interview.
Okay.
So I show you a picture of my dad and his gear. You know what I'm saying? When he was like the same age when I started.
All right, let me ask you a question. Did you grow up with your father?
Yes.
You did?
Same household, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. Hey, look, would you consider yourself to have been spiritual ever since you were a kid? Or is that something that came about in your later years as an adult? Or
I can honestly say I always been spiritual. I just was traditionally told that it was through religion.
And see, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say, like, I think we all naturally are spiritual as far as what we learn early on to express our spirituality. I think that differs, okay? So at what age did you start to try to gather more information about spirituality or religion and so on?
I say when I got when I was about 19 or 20, when I started how to figure things out on my own. And I couldn't get all the answers from the church or the Bible. I got a lot of good knowledge from the Bible though, using it as a reference standpoint. But as far as like truth, I didn't get the truth that I was seeking for from the Bible, so I started going outsourcing.
So what is some of the first and earliest information you came across when you were trying to figure out what the truth is?
It was a movie that my sister's son's father had put me on to, and at the time, I wanted to be a preacher because I wanted to tell the truth and help people, so I was really into the Bible. I'm talking about reading the Bible every day. I was working at the shipyard. And I won't doing it. Nobody at the shipyard really works hard. Not all the time anyway.
This is at around what age?
I was 22.
Okay.
22, yeah. But like I said, I wasn't doing much at work, so every day I would take the Bible with me, and I would just read the Bible. In fact, I had read the Bible twice. You know what I'm saying? While I was there. Because I had that much downtime. And like I said, it helped me a lot. Like,
but you were into the Bible though. I mean, like, would you consider yourself from a kid, would you consider yourself born into Christianity? Like, was that your parents? Yeah. And so you pretty much had a Christian background anyway, like most of us, you know what I mean, in America. But what I want to ask is, at what point did you start to acquire other information that might have been contradictory or that you wasn't taught early on?
I told you that movie, when I watched that movie, I might pronounce it wrong. It's either Zeitgeist or Zeitgeist, but it's 3 of them. But when I seen the first one, it started making me question a lot of what I was taught traditionally. But at the same time, like just seeing a lot of church people, man, they're not like that. And nobody's gonna be the perfect example of what they're into, but there's a lot of contradictions when it comes to that though. So that's what led me to, seek other information.
So what have you learned since seeking that other information? What have you learned to add on, or that does contradict and change your mind about things that you thought earlier?
I wouldn't say add on, but it put it in proper perspective. You know what I mean?
As
like,
far as, for example,
having a better understanding of the origins of where they got the plagiarized religion from.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Because it's real perverted and tainted and plagiarized. But if you take it to the origins, it's beautiful.
Okay. Would you consider what you consider yourself religious or spiritual? Do you have something that you identify with from a religious standpoint? Like some people are Muslim, some people are Christians. Would you consider you Israelite? Would you consider yourself any particular thing, or are you just spiritual?
Just spiritual, no title. But I respect all though. Anything to make you a better person, follow it. But nah, I don't fall under none of those creeds.
Okay.
Religious creeds.
So I noticed, so I know when we was boxing back in the day, I know your boxing name was War Angel, and then I know you got it tatted on you too. Where did that name come about from?
I mean, I always looked at myself as a warrior, and like I said, a truth seeker. And when you like truth, basically truth is a sword because it divides. You know what I mean? So that's how I see myself. I come bearing the sword, which is the truth.
What's some things that you've changed? Actually, let me take it back. All right, growing up as a kid, what were you into? Were you into sports? Were you like running around in the streets? What? Video games? What were you into as a kid growing up?
I was into all that shit you just said, but I always knew my rope. You know what I'm saying? Especially as far as with like that street shit. Like I always knew my rope. So I dib and dabble, but I knew when to leave that shit alone. Hey, I'ma holler at y'all. Y'all go do that. I'll be here when y'all get back. You know what I mean? But yeah, I played sports, did video games. I had my little shit that I got into, but like I said, I never went too far out. I never had a problem with being comfortable with who I am. So I didn't have to go follow people and do shit that I know I wasn't supposed to be doing.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Do you feel like you were put in a predicament or a situation where you had to do certain things, or were you just trying to be cool maybe? For example, you know how some guys, with me, I was never in a predicament where I had to be in the streets, or I just had such a rough upbringing or whatnot, to where I had to be out here doing certain things and I was exposed to it and it was easy. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, yeah, I would get into little stuff, mischievous things. You know what I'm saying? Just being a kid and maybe trying to fit in and be cool. Would you consider your time growing up, and when you was doing little what you would consider knucklehead things now, would you say you felt like you had to do that, or you were being cool?
A little bit of both. I mean, I say 50-50. Just trying to fit in. Then some of it, if you're out there, you do got to. Some of it, like you might have to hold it down, hold yourself down, or hold your man down, because you out there. You know what I mean? This is just how it go.
So as far as lifestyle changes, so you said you watched the movie, you already been into the Bible, you got into the Bible. How does that transition into maybe a lifestyle as far as how you eat, how you think, you know, and you starting to grow up and evolve as a man? Like, yeah, basically.
Well, that, as far as the lifestyle transition, it really didn't come from the movie. That movie in particular, it came from several other pieces of knowledge and movies where I've seen that, I mean, a lot of what we was taught traditionally is wrong. And it wasn't purposely. That's just a person can only give you what they know. You know what I'm saying? My peoples only gave me what they know. And I don't fault them for the way that they raised me, because that was all they had to work with.
Right.
But once I got old enough to venture out on my own, I seen other truths. You know what I'm saying? And other alternative lifestyles that was more beneficial and healthier. Please, what's up, man?
Okay, as far as family goes, if you are, say, one of the first people in your family, or one of the first generations that's acquiring a certain amount of knowledge to transition and change your lifestyle, going forward for the generations behind you as well, would you say you've ran into a lot of troubles with family members or friends and things like that, as far as you trying to change up your lifestyle, but they still live a certain type of way, a certain lifestyle? Do you find any conflict or anything like that?
I won't say conflict, but you know you're gonna be scrutinized and called crazy and joked on it because they don't understand it. Then it's okay. It's always two things. It's always a negative and a positive. You know what I mean? And when you're moving more toward positivity, not saying that them themselves are negative, they're just ignorant about what you're doing. So that would give them a negative outlook on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So they won't understand it. And when people don't understand, they fear and they make fun of it. But it don't matter to me because I know that it's the truth. And I see the real benefits of it. You know what I'm saying?
So, have you been able to transition other people or entice other people to, say, get healthier within your family or with friends, or has everybody pretty much kind of either shunned and rejected, you know what I mean, the lifestyle change, or what?
Nope, 100%. Everything you said, 100%. Because it's like, it's too hard to deny truth, and it's evident. You know what I mean? Like, when you're not faking it and you doing it, you don't have to say much. People gonna ask you, yo, why you look good, man? Why you always in a good mood? Why you look so happy, man? Why your skin look healthy, man? Your body look fit. You don't even look your age. You know, and they automatically want to know what you're doing. And I don't got, like I said, when you doing it, you don't got to talk much. Exactly. They just got to watch you move, cause you live this shit. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna say this too. The thing is, like, and that's the thing with, I guess you could say the spiritual or conscious community a lot of times, or just with any group of people, you know, you always have people who want to be leaders, and then you always have people who don't want to follow other people and they want to be leaders. So I think a lot of times how you can cut into all that, man, is if everybody just be a leader amongst themselves as far as being an example, you know what I mean, within your family, and then you show that example to other people do the same thing, and then we all can lead each other. You know what I mean?
Make the fruit punch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the best drinks. The natural one anyway, like, that's the best drinks because you got all flavors, all varieties. It's just not one thing.
Hey, do you think that boxing, being a martial art, has played a role in your spiritual growth?
Yes, sir. It's my balance.
How so?
Yeah, it's my balance. It's everything. It's discipline. It helps with your breathing. It's a stress reliever. You know what I mean? It helped me to see things clear. I can't explain it, but like I said, to just sum it up in 2 words, it's my balance. 3 words.
Well, no, I get it, because it all correlates and translates to life. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I was just I know you also have a lot of respect for this guy too, Emmanuel Augustus. And so I had shared something on my Facebook page where I was showing how he had his own style, and he would just kind of emote in the ring, and you know what I mean, and get in the spirit in the ring, and then just how he was able to adapt in the ring and find his rhythm and find his stride and things like that. All these things correlate to everyday life. The discipline it takes when you training, you know what I mean, the body control, the adapting to situations, all these things correlate to your spirituality and your life as well. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to ask you, like, did you see a correlation between the two?
Yes, sir. Because like you said, like, you gotta be calm under fire. Then you have to have a clear mind also when you're in control too. Because one false move and things can change, just like in life. Like you said, it's no different. You know what I'm saying? And if you can blend them two together, you will be a master at both. You know, a master in the ring and a master in your personal life. And that don't mean you're not gonna take losses, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, a loss isn't what we consider a loss. When you learn the valuable lesson, it's not a loss. When your eyes are open and you know what happened and why it happened, that's not a loss. But when you don't know what happened and why it happened, you took a L. It's gonna keep happening. You
Hey, like, I want to ask you, with your diet, what does your diet consist of? Like, do you have a strict, rigid diet per se? Like, would you consider yourself a vegan or a vegetarian or anything like that?
I don't like labels. I ain't none of that.
Right.
But
And that's what I
it's
was.
safe to say, what I do, you could put me in a box with one of those labels, but I don't like labels.
I know,
But
yeah.
I don't eat nothing that walk on all fours.
I always like to say I'm not religious about food. You know what I mean?
Nah.
It's certain things I don't touch because it's my personal preference to not touch it.
Right.
But it's things that I wouldn't necessarily promote if I know people need to try to get their health together. But if I would have it myself or whatever. So it could be whatever. It could be ice cream. It could be some chips, whatever. I don't consider myself religious, but I eat plenty of the right foods and take the right supplements and things like that. But it's only a few things that I completely just don't touch. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to know if you were like a vegetarian or a vegan or something like that in particular. So if you wouldn't label yourself anything, what are the things you say you don't eat? I know you said nothing that walks on all fours.
Yeah, nothing that walk on all fours, I don't touch.
What else? Anything else that you absolutely won't touch?
I mean, that sums up a lot of what people eat and love to eat. So really, it's that, because I can't say.
So you will eat stuff like, you will eat some chips or something every now and then. You want,
chips.
yeah.
I eat chips, but I just won't go crazy on
Right.
There's certain chips that
Right.
I won't eat neither.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I eat pizza. That's the only time that I outrightly eat cheese. Is on cheese pizza. Other than that, I don't want no cheese. I'm not touching it. You know what I mean? I don't eat cold cuts. I eat like the meat alternative, like sandwiches every now and then. That's not something that I eat on a daily basis either. But like outright cold cuts and deli meat, no, I don't eat that shit.
Hold on, I just thought of it. You said nothing that don't. I just really thought about it. Nothing that walk on all fours. So you pretty much. So you don't eat no meat. I can't really think of it off the top of my head. Yeah. So you're a vegetarian. So you are a vegetarian then.
Nah, but I don't claim that shit. But you could say that.
Well then, cause fish.
I eat
That's
fish,
meat.
but
Yeah,
no,
that's meat.
vegetarians
That's
eat
meat.
fish.
Yeah.
Vegans don't eat fish.
Okay.
You know, and a lot of people that claim they're vegans, not vegans neither. That shit is just not about what you eat. You're not supposed
It's no
to
animal products. Period.
Period. Right. That's why. That's why I told you I don't like the labels.
Yeah.
Because you could easily point, I seen you do that, or you did this. So I don't fuck with them labels. I just do what I do, but I call it clean eating. It's 70-30 rule. It's 70% clean and 30% of bad, but it's still not the bad that other people do. It's like I said, I don't fuck with ice cream, the milk-based ice cream. I don't really eat cheese unless it's on cheese pizza, and I rarely eat that, which is like either every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's my way, and it's working for me. I don't gotta go see the scientists. I call the doctors the scientists. I never had to go see the scientists. They don't have to operate on me, and I don't have to pay their lab rent. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I think it's working for me.
I'd say so, bro. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've been knowing you for about a little over 10 years now. Then we had a stretch. So I met you probably around 2011 when I came back down here and I started boxing, and we was working out at the same gym. And then I went back I probably stuck around for about a year maybe, and then I went back up the way. And then it's probably been like a 5-6 year layoff, and then, or whatever, or some a little more than that. But I can honestly say you still in the same shape. That's one of the first things I told you when I seen you. Like, damn, you the same weight that you was fighting at or whatnot. And it's healthy. It ain't like, you know what I mean, you could tell it's healthy. It's a healthy slim. It ain't like, oh, you know, he, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. But let me see, what else, man? What else I want to ask you about? Oh, how about this? So, fatherhood.
Drinks in the cooler if y'all want y'all drinks popping, bro.
Oh, you good, bro?
Go ahead, you good.
Yeah. So, fatherhood. And speaking of that, he talking to his kids right now. But what would you say? What advice would you give to young fathers out there?
You know
Or guys who have the potential to get a woman pregnant, and
that's what I was gonna
you know
say.
what I mean, and they may not be sure if they're gonna be the best fathers, you know, right now or not. Let's just say today they might have conceived a baby, and they don't know where, you know what I mean, what type of father they gonna end up being. What advice would you give them as far as being a good father?
Just have good intentions, man. As long as you got a good heart and good intentions, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna figure it out. And that's why, like, excuse me, I still say this to myself. I wanna join a group or start a group of men because I still need men. Outside of my father, I still need advice from older men. You know what I'm saying? Men that's older than me. Like, we all need each other. We all need each other's shoulders. And me saying that to answer your question is, that's what we need to be to the guys that's younger than us. You know what I'm saying? A good ear, a good piece of advice. You know, like just start those groups up, man, so we all can help each other out.
And like you say, because that's why I was saying, like, what advice would you have? Because, like, I think people need that a lot of times, man. Like especially now, we at an age where the kids underneath us, the generation underneath us, are coming 1 and 2 generations from single motherhood. See, you know what I'm saying? Like before us, Generation X's and baby boomers, they never had to really experience that. They had households, like 2-parent households. You know what I'm saying? So now I think it's even more important for guys of the millennial age to emphasize to these younger dudes now, like, if you get her pregnant, try to be the best father that you can be. It might not work out with the mother. I don't know what the circumstances is, but try to be a father. And don't let those circumstances easily deter you from not being in your child's life.
Indeed, 100%.
So yeah.
That's easier said than done.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said don't easily let it deter you. I understand this situation. Oh, trust me, we ain't getting into that. I'm just saying.
No, we can though, because it's a very important topic for us.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, that happened a lot with us, man. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, a lot of times we didn't plan them kids, bro. That joint just happened. Like we might have just been sexing off with sure. You know what I'm saying? And it just happened. The next thing you know, y'all got a baby.
Right.
Y'all got to figure this shit out.
Right.
You know, and a lot of times, either one of y'all might have had both parents or both of y'all might didn't. So that might be a normality for both of y'all to not have both parents.
Exactly.
So y'all don't see nothing wrong with both of y'all not being in the house with that child, but that child definitely gonna be affected.
And don't see nothing wrong with just allowing things so easily to separate the situation based on the fact that you already experienced that. Well, my mama won't there. Even if you ain't saying it like that in your head, or my father won't there, so therefore I don't mind breaking up another household. Like it's easier for us to do it now because we think, like you said, it's the norm. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what happened, and that's how they thinking. That's what happened to them. So they like, ain't nothing wrong with it. That's how I grew up.
So would you say another thing is emphasizing relationships and taking your time and not just getting off? You know what I mean? You know how it is when we came up and things like that, because you hindering your people overall, because you having all these broken homes or these single parent households. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not sustainable, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying?
It's like you putting handicapped kids in a society where it's gonna keep happening. And when I say handicapped, I'm not meaning physically, like with your limbs, but mentally. They handicapped, and they nine times out of 10 they're gonna go out here and do the same thing. So now you got, like what you said, you got a people that's single parent families. That shit is hard. It's hard now with 2 parents financially. You know what I'm saying? Now we ain't even talking about like psychologically what it do, but just from a financial standpoint, that shit is hard, man. One parent raising a child. Not to mention that if they got siblings, if you got other kids. So yeah, 2 incomes, with anything, two arms are better than 1. You know what I'm saying? 4 arms are better than 2. So hell yeah, it's always better.
Yeah, I mean, and then I think also, man, we gotta just, like, you know, we definitely gotta emphasize, you know, family, and trying to stick together and trying to stay together. You know what I mean? And then we got to emphasize community amongst, like, even with myself, like a lot of times I'm real closed off.
And hold on, we got another, please, what's your name, bro? Jimmy? Hey, you heard what we were saying. How you feel about it, bro? Come down here.
I feel like you 100% right in that aspect, because I'm dealing with something similar. Like, I moved down here from Detroit, Michigan.
No doubt.
And had a child with a female, and she from here.
Okay.
So I moved down here to be with her. She ended up getting pregnant. So okay, we had to, like you said, we had to figure it out. So I was working at
How long y'all known each other prior to?
Prior to about 2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
And that's her first and your first, or
That's her first. That's my second.
No doubt.
Like I figured like because I was older than her, I had a big ass jump on like 17 years jump.
Yeah, that's like you having a
like,
baby with your
right,
baby.
Like having a baby with a baby, for real.
Yeah,
But it don't, by me saying that, it don't matter the generation, it's just,
mindset.
yeah, it's stuck, it's like stuck on black women, like they like,
They don't need a man.
if I can't get what I want, then I don't care. I don't need you, the child gonna suffer, they just don't care. Then the child grow up thinking that's okay. Cause that's all they see. That's
And
all
then it repeats the cycle.
No doubt. No doubt. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you? 40? You got 2 years on me. Word, I just had my birthday Wednesday. Yeah. 40? And how long you say you've been in VA?
3 years now.
3 years. And what brought you here?
Her.
Okay, what y'all met online or something?
No, we met on the job. Then she moved back home. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come down there because I'm from Detroit. I want.
So she was in Detroit. Where y'all
No.
was working?
We was working. We was going like different state to state, like
The job that y'all was doing.
Like yeah,
Oh, all right,
like a salesperson going state to state, like getting people to sign up for petitions and do this and do that. It was all right, but it got kind of too much because you gotta go home. Stuff always happening, right? So we ended up going home, separating, and then I'm like, no, I can't do this. I already know where I was going to end up doing the same thing. So I'm like, okay, let me switch my scenery. Okay, I came down here. It didn't go quite as I thought it was gonna go.
Yep.
It's like, okay, she got a pops and he not in her life.
Let me ask you a question real quick. But what's your spiritual? You got any spiritual beliefs? You believe in God?
Yeah, I believe it's a higher. It's more than one higher source, but I believe in a higher source.
A higher power?
But it's all I believe it's all within yourself. I think we all self-reflecting. It's like
We all got God within us?
yeah, because we all one like me, you, him. We all one. We just like
Going through
Yeah.
personal experience.
Yeah.
But collectively, yeah.
it's like that. But I don't know when we gonna reach that point to where everybody gonna start waking up. But it's going down, man. It's going sideways. It's getting worse and worse because the government want to put their agenda. In my eyes, they want to put their agenda. Like, I believe it was set up. I know it was set up for our community to be like
The
that.
way it is.
Because they know that's the strongest unit, man, woman, and child. That's like you ever heard of
We
them?
pausing there. Right. We all familiar with the Holy Trinity, right?
Yeah,
The
that's
three.
what I was just
That's the
gonna say.
real Holy Trinity. The natural divine order. Man, woman, and child. Alright, keep going, bro.
Yeah, and they know this about us. So okay, we gonna throw this in there, throw that in there, throw this in there, throw crack in the '80s. We gonna see, but it's different now. This is a younger generation. They think it's cool to drink lean and pop pills. So, okay, let's flood them with it. Oh, we gonna shoot our ops. We gonna let's give them guns.
So you can't decipher what he talking about. He talking about entertainment.
Yeah.
And getting us through entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Especially the youngins.
So with all that we go through and have been through as a people, and we still here, do you think that we could ever actually be destroyed?
Nah,
Us?
No.
Yeah.
It's impossible because we are
Original people.
the sun, we are the clouds, the moon, the stars. All of that is in us.
Oh, indeed.
All of that is in us.
So how far away you?
That
Go ahead and never happened.
How far away do you think we are from reaching our full potential?
We light years away. We light years away from that. But it's there. Like you said, the potential is there. You know what I'm saying? It's there, man. But it's so much we got to change first. So much we got to change first, man. Like he said, it starts from within.
Yeah, it's our diet too. Like it's not just attacking through entertainment and stuff. They attacking it through our food. Like they put certain stuff in your food to have you thinking a certain way, have you tired, and you can't. But if you feed yourself the right, like we carbon beings. So if you feed yourself the right way, we won't even need food for real.
Not that food that they selling. That solid food that you gotta pump with steroids and perfumes and shit, and out of that where you gotta keep it a certain color. Man, you don't know what's in that shit, man, to be honest. Especially even when you look at the 10-year-olds, man, that's developed like wrong women. How the hell can you explain that?
It's like
hormones.
Yeah, they put the hormones in chicken and all that.
And so if you digest it, the same steroids gonna be in you.
Yeah.
Just using common logic. Not trying to be over sophisticated and deep, but
and I know you heard that as above, so below.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people misunderstand that as above, like what's in your head is gonna go on in your body, and what goes on in your body gonna go on like on the outside of you.
That's what you gonna manifest.
Yeah, it's what you gonna manifest. Like if you going through something and it's just eating at you and you ain't talking to nobody, woo. But low key, you talking to yourself, so you putting it out in the ether, and them like waves, and the universe catch that
Frequency, transmit,
and it'll come right back to you. I feel like once we be more conscious of what we do, then we'll change as a whole people.
Let me tell you who had the best piece of advice on that, and it was through a song, but you probably paid attention to it, but let it resonate for real. Michael Jackson with Man in the Mirror. If you just start, so he said it back then, man, if you start with yourself, then the world will change. You know what I'm saying? If all of us change individually as individuals, we will collectively be a better society. You know what I mean? That's how I see it.
Yep.
All on the right topic, man. I appreciate it. I just want to listen. I appreciate.
Oh no, ain't no. Look, ain't nothing, bro. I appreciate you.
I just wanna, cause it's like that's like food to me, man. It's like cause you can't get that type of conversation from the average person. The average person, they thinking about what the media talking about, or what's going on the radio, or what Zoom and Wham just did, or this person just bought a car. This person, they ain't nothing. They was just broke, like trying to bring people down. You don't hear no real conversations. It's rare. Now I appreciate it, man.
Okay. Did you say you just had a son? You had a son or a daughter?
Daughter, she's 3.
Okay, so right now I know you said when you got down here things kind of got a little rocky. Are you still able to try to be in her life as much as you possibly can?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Is the mother making it hard for you, or?
Too hard. Like it's like certain people can be delusional. They want to believe what they want to believe. They want you to believe what they want you to believe. Like she stole. I'm not gonna say the amount, but she stole a lot of money from me through the government or whatever, and she feel like I owed her that. Like, I don't owe you nothing. I owe my child. I don't owe you specifically nothing. I owe my child. We owe our child to raise her different so that she won't come up like that. So she can attract people like her. Because like-minded people attract like-minded people. Like, I know you probably been around people who you like, yeah, they cool. But after you sit around them for a while, you get that uneasy feeling. You like, yeah, I don't even really want to rock with. I don't even want to come around like that. I come around once in a while, it's cool, but I don't really want to come around because they're not feeding you. They're not like
on your same wavelength.
It's like radio station.
Yeah.
There's a lot of static if y'all not on the same frequency.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he said, it's energy, man. People don't believe that energy is real. If you listen to our slang, it lets you know. Like when you be like, man, I got static with him. I got beef with him. That's the energy. The negative and positive. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate y'all.
Hey man, I hope everything work out too, man. Be in her life, yo. Be in her life as much as possible, bro.
I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. I'm gonna do whatever I can and whatever I gotta do because it's just something in me just not. I can't do it. I can't just let her grow up without me. Like I want her to always know that I was always there. I was always trying. Even if I wasn't, even if I'm not there.
Literally step by step.
Yeah. If I'm not there physically in her life, she'll know because I'm calling or I'm reaching out or I might just pop up in her. I might just pop up in her state and go to her school. This is my idea, you know. Just sit down with her, just have a conversation with her, so I can answer those questions that she got in her mind. Because a lot of kids be having a lot of stuff on their minds, but we as adults, we ignore it because we figure, oh, they
downplay it.
Childish, but they got a lot of
wisdom in children.
A lot of wisdom. I believe children are more wiser than older people.
Yeah, it's honesty. What they really have. If we don't get, it's honesty. You know what I'm saying?
It's that purity.
Yep.
I appreciate y'all though, man.
Yeah, appreciate you.
For sure. I'm finna be a commentator. I'm finna sit back and be
All
right. See you around, bro.
You see how that happened though? Like when you, cause man, like I told in the beginning, man, truth is truth and real is real. You know what I'm saying? And it attracts who it's supposed to. And it grabs who it needs to grab. That's why I say you don't, if you never try to be something. Don't ever try to be nothing. Be who you are and what you are. If you a piece of shit, be a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? But don't try
a piece of shit, because you should try to inspire. You should try to inspire to do better.
No, I ain't inspiring nothing.
Because a piece of shit may do anything. Like when you start to affect other people, that's when you know what I'm saying. That's when you need to be like.
No, it's a such thing as negative positivity too. Some people be unrealistically positive, like how we be to a lot of shit that happen to us. That's why we in this same position. Why when we was under oppression, right? We was too positive about that damn religion, thinking we was gonna get saved by something when you only was gonna save yourself. So some people died under them circumstances. Some people got on their feet and got off their knees and got free. That's why I be saying in some cases, too much positivity, man, to hurt you. And unrealistically positive.
It is balance, but I was saying more so accountability. Like if a person is a piece of shit, before I want you to affect me. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
I'm gonna try to rehabilitate you.
How, man? No, sir. And you know what happened when you do that with the wrong person? You'll wind up getting drained.
No, I ain't saying I would personally try to do it. Some people, like you said, it's an energy. Some people you just ain't gonna bother with anyway. But you know what I mean. But
some people can play a number on you, fake shit out.
Exactly.
Just because they wanted you, they see your life force. They see how you vibe and high. They envy of that. They jealous of that. And say, you know what?
Energy vampires.
Energy vampires. I don't even want to be better. I just want to fake like I want to drain his ass.
Exactly.
I'm that miserable.
And look, people will think that's being arrogant. People will think that's being cold. You know who really genuinely trying to get some help, some advice in order to put themselves in a better position, and then you can feed off of each other and like you said, the positive energy, the positive vibe, and then people who are just literally who have no intention on trying to get anything positive from the situation that's going to help feed you, but they rather just take from you. So those are the people you got to know not to give any energy to at all. You know what I mean? Like you got to know who to deal with, who not to deal with.
I mean, but still, you never really know until you start dealing. So whenever you
gotta filter.
So any interaction with people, you roll in the dice. It's always a gamble. You never know what you're gonna get. You just hoping, you know what I'm saying, you get something good, or you strike a good number. But sometimes you might crap out. You know what I mean? That's how it goes. You never really know. You just hope it works in your favor. Same thing with intimate relationships with people. You never really know. Nothing is for sure. Not even with ourselves. Sometimes I can't even trust me. I say I'm going out here to do one thing. You know what I'm saying? And I end up doing something completely different.
Or especially when it come to the years in between something, like think of you at 15 and then think of you now, like, or whatever, like, so you know what I mean? Sometimes, like you said, you don't know what you may evolve into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's even now though.
Yeah.
I got a little more control of it now because with aging, wisdom should come. And it's a difference too, because a lot of people think because they getting older, they getting smarter. No, you just getting older. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're getting older don't mean you got smarter. Because why would our elder be having diabetes?
because they stopped learning. They stopped learning.
So that means you didn't get smarter.
Right, you just
got
stopped
older,
learning, yep.
And you start getting broke down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, in all actuality, dog, you should be getting smarter, not older. You should be getting better. For real, the people that do it right get better as they
Aging
age.
like fine wine.
Damn right, they get better as they age. Because you know what's up now. You got more discipline now. You should be financially a little more stable now to take better care and make better decisions. So in turn, you should get better. You shouldn't get worse. And I'm not talking like you gotta have this big house. I'm talking about your quality of living, your quality of thinking. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, shit, I think we done pretty much covered almost everything that, I mean, without, I guess, getting too personal.
I don't mind. I told you I'm transparent.
All right, let me ask you about this then. Have you ever had any legal issues?
Legal issues?
Yeah.
Man, the most legal stuff I had was getting caught with some weed, a little dub, a little quarter. I had a real big legal issue with the motherfucking state child support. I can't stand them. That's my biggest enemy is child support. Yeah, I got locked up for that shit for 7 months. And that's not a crime. It's a civil suit. So I never been locked up for a criminal offense. I got locked up for a civil suit with the state. And I couldn't believe that shit. That was like man, I was so mad when I was sitting in there because I knew I didn't commit a crime. And I was in there around criminals that got less time. I did not understand that shit. I was so frustrated because I'm like, man, I didn't even commit a crime. This is a civil suit. And I'm in here doing day for day, can't get no time knocked off. And people that I consider criminals can get time off their sentence.
So now for young men, because what's going to happen is it's going to be somebody that gets in trouble and will have to go and do any amount of time, whether it's days or whether it's years. What advice would you give a young man as far as preparing himself for having to go to jail? Now, we know jail, like county jail, whatever, is different from prison and things like that. But just even jail, you know what I mean? What advice would you give him to mentally prepare himself?
It's
Really, it could be somebody who gonna look at this video that one day might get in some type of legal issues and this, you know.
Well, I've never been to prison, so I can't tell you what prison is, but I've been in jail. I've been in Newport News City Jail, and I've been in a couple of jails. Trying to not glorify that shit. It's from doing the wrong stuff. No, well, let me retract that statement that I made too, because I have been in jail for a criminal offense, but the longest stint I ever did wasn't from a criminal offense. It was like, from what I said, a civil suit against the state, against the Commonwealth with child support. But anybody that go to jail or go to prison, use that time wisely to enlighten yourself, to get knowledge of self, just to gather information, because that's when you're not in a rat race when you go there. You don't have the troubles that you have on the daily with bills and work and kids and friends and family and stuff like that. You really get to sit down, eat to yourself and think. So take advantage of it.
So basically, have the mindset that you can and will be rehabilitated. It's not the end. It's not the end of your life, right?
Yeah,
not necessarily, unless you got life.
You can make good at that time. A lot of people, that shit saved, to be honest. A lot of people it saved. Because a lot of people, if they didn't go to jail or prison, they'd probably be dead.
Boom.
So yeah, a lot of people, that shit saved. It wasn't a bad thing for a lot of people. Yep.
So that's a good outlook right there, guys. All right, like if you know, that's just a good way to look at it. As rehabilitation, time to get yourself together, and time to really sit in that feeling of what happened, so you can know that you never want to be in that predicament again. You know what I mean?
Reflection and retrograding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But again, it's all in where your mind is at though, because you could go there and become a better criminal. or a better life.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
That's
That's why I said with advice. See, you didn't give that advice. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying with advice.
No
That's a great point though, because some people get locked up and they become worse criminals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it all depends on the mentality you got going in there. You trying to get it.
And who you go around and be up under when you in there, man. It's no different from out here, man. It's no different from out here. You know what I'm saying? If you go in there and be around ignorant-minded, low-vibing, low-frequency people, that's what you gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Then you could be around somebody that's in there that helped change your life, and you would never be the same again had you not went there and met that person. So it could be a blessing in disguise. You know what I'm saying?
So what's up with your with your necklace? Like, is that just you just like that necklace, or does it serve any functional purpose for you or anything, or is it just decoration?
Nah,
I noticed it's a copper necklace with a crystal.
Yeah, these are
and it's
stones
and it's wrapped. So what significance does that have to you?
The significance that it has to me, one is for balance and health, and the other is for spiritual growth.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to touch on, man? Like I said, I think we done pretty much touched on that. We've been going for close to an hour now, guys. So.
It seems like it because it's just so.
Yeah, it's been I ain't gonna even. That's my first time ever interviewing somebody. So actually, I take that back. When I was doing this thing with baby moms, but this the first time in a long time. And even then, I wasn't that comfortable with it. But I think this was pretty natural, and we did pretty good out here today, man.
It's dope. I really enjoyed it. We even got somebody that would chime in from the side.
Exactly.
Everybody got a story.
And it's exactly.
Everybody got
different perspectives. I think when you come to look at this video, it's gonna be a lot of good information in this video and perspective and things that we touched on. This is a real good video.
Yeah,
now, I mean, we touched on it all. Like, this is a good video.
Yeah, and it just naturally had happened because we didn't know Jimmy.
Nope.
He was just on the side, seeing us, heard what we said, and agreed, and already had like mind.
That's the spirit.
So he came down and chimed, you know what I mean? So that's why I said, man, we supposed to be doing this.
And they go to show you also, man, the love with our people too, man. Like in the so-called hood or urban areas and things like that, man. Like, I walk up and down these streets, you know, especially now with the gas prices being what they are. Like, it's real convenient to walk anyway, and I love to walk when the weather is right. Yeah. And man, some of the people that they try to make you feel the most scared of, you know what I mean? And they be the most beautiful people. Everybody go through things. People fall on hard times, and people do different things, got things that happen. But these are some of the most beautiful people that you'll ever know. Some of the nicest, most loving people. The people that's in the hood.
Give you shit off their back, or even give you their life.
Good hearts.
You know what I'm saying?
People with good hearts, you know what I'm saying? And so that go to show you too, man, like, it ain't nothing but love. And he was a perspective, because like E been doing his spiritual thing for a minute. I kind of been doing my spiritual thing for a minute and things like that. And we got certain lifestyles right now. But he comes from a lifestyle where he was saying he was going through some things, and he might not be eating the best foods all the time. He might not be exercising all the time, doing this, doing that, you know what I mean, on it hard. But then when you sit down, you talk to him, you see how much knowledge he has, some of the things and some of the stuff he was dropping. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the names he was dropping, and phrases he was dropping, and words he was dropping. And it's like, you can't judge a book by its cover, man, and you gotta respect everybody, and you can learn something from everybody.
The thing that I was so impressed by with bro is how aware he was. Even though you said that he wasn't outrightly doing all the right stuff himself, he still knew them. Right. So he's standing fighting chance. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us out here don't know. So they don't even got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just swept up in it. You know what I mean? And they just dealing with it. You don't even know when, why, and what. Or
won't even admit that it's wrong. Because some people, sometimes they can admit things. Like, I'm sure he was willing to admit certain things that he know of that he could do better, but he's not doing it. But then it's that, you know what I mean? But you might not have the discipline or the situation to where you feel like you can actually realize a change. But some people won't even acknowledge that that it's an issue in the first place. Therefore, they definitely can't change. You know what I mean?
In denial. Then some people, they know and don't care because they like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I have the people that eat that shit and do the stuff they do, smoke them cigarettes and drink, they know that shit is slowly diminishing, but they like it, so they don't care. And I can't fault you, but don't want nobody to feel sorry for you at the end neither.
Especially if you arrogant about, like, for example, if he has certain habits, or if I got certain habits, I can at least be humble. You can be humble about it and say, all right, I know I do certain things or whatever, it ain't the best, but be humble about it. But it's a lot of people that's real nasty about it. Like, if they think that you healthy, or you a health nut or something like that, they'll be very you know what I mean, combative towards you too, and aggressive in their way.
That's a front. It's like some for real admiration in disguise that turn into hate and shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what it be. They just mad the fact that they can't.
Jealousy is just love and hate at the same time. Yep.
It is. It's one of the same, man.
Yep.
Cause they know like that he doing the right shit. But fuck him. Cause I can't do it. I don't got the discipline to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, fuck
Yep.
what he talking about. Nah, man, it's just
Boom.
some hate shit. Just give it a get, man. And look, if somebody deserve their flowers, get them their flowers. You know what I'm saying? Just get on your grind.
And then people who are doing things a certain way, you can't be too high and mighty either. You got to be willing to help
That's
people.
true.
And then a lot of times, because it becomes a war, because we get defensive. Because say if you have had certain experiences, then you become defensive. And then if they have certain experiences with people who think they healthy and health nuts or whatever, and if they have certain experiences with them being arrogant or thinking they know everything, or looking down on them, then it just creates that energy of combat. You know what I'm saying? So we both got to be humble on both ends. You know what I mean? Just because you might be eating right or exercising and doing certain things, you can't come across like you are trying to be better than the next person because you doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you better than
right.
On a pedestal.
Right.
No, you can't. But I'm gonna tell you.
It's not to say It's not to say look down at yourself either. You know what I'm saying?
No. What I do have the time, it's just like this. Is what I don't do. And work taught me this. Like I don't discuss religion or politics because that's very personal. And I feel that, and I'm gonna add a third one in there. Like I said, they only say religion and politics, but I'm gonna add food because food is a religion too. The way I see it. You know what I mean? So I don't really bother with what people eat or with what I eat. So if you watching what I eat and you make comments, unless you're really concerned, I'm not gonna answer because I know how people get. Like you said, they get defensive because it's personal. You know what I mean? So I don't say much. I won't say a thing. You know what I mean? But don't try to ostracize me neither for what I do. That's how I see it.
Yeah, man. So, look, I think we're gonna. I mean, is it anything else? We can keep going. Don't get me wrong.
I can go. That's why I said, but it's just because like I told you the last time, I don't want this. This just the first minute. You know,
trying.
I'm gonna be doing it with you too, so we can stop it because this the first minute.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and start because we touched on, because we hit on it all, and I don't want to make it. I don't want to strain it or stress the situation. You know what I mean? Or stress it or make it forced.
Break this shit up.
You know what I'm saying?
This shit up into pieces.
So I got anything. So I mean, I guess that's good. All right, but we'll holler at y'all. Peace.